In life, hope is the only thing that is stronger than fear. But what do you hold on to when hope feels like it's too far away? Well, there are very many events that have happened this year, in these 2 weeks or 3 weeks so far, that have led me to this episode. And I'll tell you, I'm already feeling the weight of this year. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like everything that could go wrong decided to go wrong all at the same time. My work life is messy, very uncertain. My savings, I'm consuming very many of my savings. Very many of my plans are still in the early stage, and the stress is trying to shatter them, but I'm trying to be strong. And yet somehow I'm here in front of a mic and showing up for another episode. Why? Maybe because I'm not the only one going through this. So that's why today I'll try to dive into the idea of hope, faith, and patience. What do we hold on to when life feels like it's slipping away? Because for the last 1 week, 2 weeks, I felt like, man, this year, nah. But we have more days to go, and I could probably say it's a trial month. Maybe I would start my year in February, but so far not so good. So far not so good. Things are trying to it's quite a difficult place to be when you're in this space and you're supposed to be more of like someone trying to give encouragement, someone trying to help people discover themselves. But like I've always said, this podcast is a journey for both of us, the listeners and me, the host. How best do I grow with you guys, and also how best do you guys grow with me? So whatever I'm going through, I know it will come to pass. It may even come to pass tomorrow, because I believe in a God of perfect time. Otherwise, let me go into this episode, and it's all about hope, faith, patience. This is Beizzo's Kiboozi. So there is this bad feeling that I have that if the year ended today, or if the world ended today, man, I feel I would have been so confused about how this year started. Because let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you coming into a year and you're full of energy, you're full of big plans, and then one by one things start to unravel. And you see me, the only thing is that I love to pretend that everything is okay. But as we all know, you can't lie to yourself. Man, I literally go back to my bed and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why are things not happening right? But because of the faith and hope I have, I believe all these things that happen, depending on the time, because we believe, I believe in a God of perfect time. Depending on the time, they are trying to prepare you for something. I've not gone to work for about a week now, and I've been staying home. Now, the hardest part about me staying home is being productive. So I've tried as much as possible to be busy. But I think it's all about the money that I would maybe try to stay busy. Because, man, I'll try to look for what to do online, doing a course or something, but you also don't have enough money to sustain you because of the internet and what. But I'll say that I'm trying. Yeah, I've also slept a lot. I've slept a lot because it's one way of pausing the chaos in my mind. One person very special to me told me that I do think a lot. And yes, I do think a lot. I do try to see how the whole thing will pan out. Why is this not working? Well, I try to look into all the nitty-gritties, which is a good thing, but also a bad thing. It causes analysis paralysis, and also it makes you get you fear to do things because you've visioned them, you've seen them back to back. But try to see that I try to pause that in my mind, and the only way I could do it is through the sleep and resting a bit, because I didn't have any leave from the time I started to work, and I worked for almost, I think, about 2 years, because from 2023 through 2024, then now. My work things are very complicated, but that's not what I really want to talk about now. Mine is that it has been quite a season that is a bit hard on me based on the plans that I have for my life and the things that I want to happen in my life. And so it pushed me to talk about what you actually have to do to see that all this at least tries to pan out for a good cause. Like, you have to be patient, you have to be hopeful, and you also have to keep the faith. But there is a quote I saw that patience and wasting time, they almost look the same. So be very quick at realizing whether you're wasting your time or you're actually being patient. The one thing I've also gone back to do is to pray. Praying, I'll admit, is not a very easy thing, because, man, when you're frustrated, you're trying to look for reasons, or you're trying to understand things using the human mind. But when you pray and speak to God, you then start to get a perspective based on God. Like, what is God trying to show you? And I've tried to see the things. I'm starting to realize that maybe I wasn't built for the employment world. Maybe I should find more comfort in the dreams that I always had as a young man. When I look at myself as a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old back then, I really had concrete dreams, and if I ran to follow all those dreams, I would be somewhere. But this academics thing and trying to live life the regular way, maybe now in this. So during my time now in praying and also understanding what is really happening, God kind of showed me that probably your dreams, I put those dreams into your mind because they could happen. So try to work on them. And I've been trying to focus on my dreams. I've tried that because that's where I find the most comfort. For those that don't know who I am or don't know any other thing I do apart from the podcast, I do graphics. And I'll tell you, I'm a very good graphics guy. Like, no doubt. I don't care what anyone else to say, but me, I know I'm a good graphics guy. And I've been doing graphics for about 7 years now. And anything in that business, printing and all that, God has shown me better ways of me doing this, building this skill better during this time. And I'm hopeful that more is yet to come. I'm trying to rebrand and change the name from the old name to a new name, and create something that is better, or something that is easier for my situation to handle. I may leave work completely. It may be a very tough decision. may be a very hard thing to do, but I may do it. And if I do it, I may suffer for some time, but it's those sacrifices, the patience, and keeping the faith in your dreams that can move you to the next step. But now here's the thing. Not all of these things is easy. Actually, hope, faith, and patience, these are things you don't wake up with in the morning. Like, you just wake up and you have hope, you have faith and patience. No. There are things you work on like a muscle every day, day in, day out, hour in, hour out, minute by minute, second by second, because they are hard to get, and you have to keep up. You have to keep up, because hope is fragile. When everything around you is screaming that give up, life is hard, it's very hard for someone to hold on hope. But even a tiny spark of it can be the light in your darkest days. If you have a little hope, they say the hope is what kills you. But if you still have the hope, you live on to keep in for that dream or anything. Then faith requires trust. You need to trust in God. For those that believe, you need to trust in yourself. You need to trust in the idea that things will get better, even when there is no proof, because that's how faith is. There is no proof that something will be better, but you keep the faith, because the foundation of faith is trust. If you trust yourself, you trust your dreams, you trust God, you trust everything around you, then somehow life will connect to see that you get what you believe in, what you have faith in. And then for patience is the toughest one, because waiting hurts, most especially if you don't know how long you're going to wait for. That's where the greatest pain is. These other things, I'm patient for money to come in. Yeah, money will always come in, but let me say you're patient for that promotion, you're patient for the profits to come in, you're patient for that scholarship you've been applying to, you're patient. My God, if you're not really aware of when the patience will give its fruits, then the pain is more. So they say patience pains, but there's something there about it, but you all know what I wanted to say. I've just forgotten it. But patience is the hardest of all of them. So what do you do exactly to see that you build these 3 pillars of life, like, so that you know what to do when life starts to spill? Like when you see life is starting to spin into another direction, and a direction that is not good for you, or something that is not making you happy or giving you the satisfaction you need in life. In my opinion, you need to first accept the chaos, because fighting reality only adds stress to your life. Like the famous saying, it's okay to be not okay. I believe that's something towards you accepting the chaos. Personally, I just pause the chaos, but I try to accept it, that this is a phase, and this phase will move, this phase will go. I don't believe that I'm going to live in one frequency of life for the rest of my life. No, I believe the frequency is going to keep increasing and getting better. You need to take a day at a time. You need to take one day at a time. And this is something that a very special friend to me has always told me, because I'm an overthinker and I'm a person who tries to look so much into the future I want to live. this person always keeps reminding me to focus on each day. Focus on the things that are happening today, because tomorrow will sort itself if you focused on today. Because everything you do today is compounded in tomorrow. If you keep waking up today early, in the future you're going to be an early bird. If you're working out today, you're going to have a better physical structure tomorrow. So focus on each day at a time, and then find the small wins, because the small wins is where the happiness starts from. It's where the reward of your hope, the faith and patience starts from. Did you get out of bed today? That's a win. Did you call a friend to catch up? That's a win. Because, you need to stay connected. And that's something I also want to talk about. You need to stay connected. Now, during this whole period, I had some of my friends call in and ask, man, how are you doing? Don't kill yourself. For those that knew what I'm going through. But you need to stay connected, because at some point these burdens are really heavy, that you start to get bad ideas. For those that can't handle their mental health, they start to come off as rude or something, or disturbed. So you need to stay connected to the people that believe in you, connected to the people that have hope in you, connected to the people that actually want the best for you, because they'll always keep looking out for you. They'll always keep struggling to see that you're okay. Well, people don't really care, but if you get those that care, keep them, stay connected to them, because it helps in building all the other pillars. It helps in strengthening all these things. Because you see, if you don't trust yourself and then you find someone that trusts you and has faith in you, somehow you get the motivation to start believing in yourself and trusting yourself. You need to keep the big picture in your mind, that everything that is happening is just building me for the better me. Is building me for that big me I'm going to be. Because me, that's how I look at all these things now. The one thing I always want to keep consistent on is recording these episodes and everything around them, doing work on each of my dreams, because you never know which dream will catch up. And I'm trying not to focus on very many, because I don't want to be very distracted. But each of my dreams now tries to complement the other. Personally, my graphics now complement my podcast, the appearance and all that. The business side, trying to get some money for myself, like sustenance for myself. That is it. You just need to keep the big picture in your mind. Try to see how best do you keep that big picture in your mind, because that's how the faith and hope will always be in. You'll always be locked in. If there is anything I have learned this year so far, is that life does not care about your plans. But that doesn't mean that you should stop planning. It's just you have to stay flexible, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward. So to everyone that is listening and maybe going through this, or in the future you go through this, maybe you can come back and listen to this episode. Let's just keep fighting and keep hoping, because there are better days to come. And this is just one of the bad ones, or this is just one of the many bad ones that will come. Faith is like taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. So just see yourself and how best you can start this journey, how you can keep in, lock in. So This week's challenge is create your structure on how you can keep the faith, the hope, and patience in the storms of life. Because we're always going to have the storms of life, but how are you going to keep the faith, the hope, and the patience? So until next time, let's keep it at Beizzo's Kiboozi. Thank you for listening. Yeah, I'll see you on next Monday.